Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to everyone's watching. This discussion is to discuss which item we should bring to the island, and our main objective is to survive until help arrive. Allow me to make the first suggestion. I would like to formally propose the 20 meter of thick canvas as our first and most critical item. My reasoning is strictly based on the role of trees in survival psychology. As many of you know, a human can survive 3 weeks without food and 3 days without waters, but only 3 hours without shelter in extreme environmental condition. To elaborate on this, we are likely in a tropical climate. The sun here is not just hot, it is a source of radiation. A direct exposure will lead to heat stroke and severe burn within hours, draining our energy and making us unable to function. Furthermore, tropical storms are frequent and violent. Being wet and exposed to the wind at night can actually lead to hypothermia. Even in the tropics, this canvas provides immediate waterproof protection for the entire group, keeping us dry and warm. And secondly, and perhaps the most critical, we need to address the issue of hydration. The canvas is arguable the most effective tool we can do for water collection. If we rely on finding a stream, we risk parasite and bacteria. However, because this canvas has such a large surface area, we can rig it up to catch a gallon of clean, safe water during single stop. Without this reliable source of fresh water, we will dehydrate and perish within days. Finally, I want to highlight the aspect of energy conservation. Building a natural shelter from branches and leaves takes hours of hard labors and burn thousands of calories that we cannot afford to lose. The canvas allows us to set up a camp in a minute, preserving our strength for other tasks. Therefore, because it solves the immediate problem of protection, hydration, and energy conservation, I believe the canvas is non-negotiable.
Wow, that is a strategically sound and compelling first choice. Your 20-meter canvas directly attacks the two most critical threats in the role of trees, exposures and thirst. As a tool for shelter and water collection, it is a foundational item that secures our base camp. I fully support its selection. To build up upon the foundation, I propose we make our second item a large tube of high SPF broad spectrum sun cream. We must categorize this not as a comfort item, but it is as essential preventative medicine. While the canvas shields us from macro elements like rain and direct sun, it cannot stop the insidious reflected UV radiation from sand, water, and rock. This constant exposure is a silent accumulating threat. The medical logic is urgent. In a tropical environment, a severe sunburn rapidly becomes an open wound. This breach in our primary defense, our skin, invites various infection from ever-present bacteria. Without antibiotics, an infected burn can lead to sepsis, a swift and deadly downward spiral. Furthermore, the debilitating pain and systematic shock of a bad burn would cripple our ability to perform the exact labor needed to erect your shelter, maintain water catchment, and forage. It preserves our operational capacity. Finally, like the canvas, this is a versatile asset. Its flammable formula can aid in fire starting, and the polished metal tube becomes a precision signaling mirror, a direct link to potential rescue. Therefore, these two items form a perfect synergy. Your canvas protects our environment, and the sun cream protects the human machinery operating within it. This dual-layer defense is a prudent strategy for sustained survival.
I understand your point about sunscreen, but and I agree that protecting our health is important. However, I'm not totally convinced that sun cream should be one of our most important survival items. In my opinion, sunburn is a risk, but it is not the most immediate danger we face on the island. Our main behavioral priorities should be food, water, and basic tools because these are essential for survival every single day. Without tools, we cannot prepare food, shelter, or collect materials. Sunburn, on the other hand, can be reduced by staying in the shade, limiting exposure during the hottest hours, and building shelter using natural resources. Another reason is that sun cream will eventually run out. Once it is finished, it no longer helps us. This makes it less reliable in the long term compared to items that can be reused continuously. That is why I believe the fork, spoon, and knife set is a better choice. First of all, the knife is a critical tool for survival. It can be used to cut food such as fish and fruit, which reduces the risk of injury or illness. It can also be used to cut wood, repair materials, and create simple tools or weapons for protection. In addition, the fork and spoon support hygiene and health. Eating properly reduces the risk of infection and stomach problems, especially when food is prepared in outdoor conditions. Maintaining hygiene helps us stay physically strong and able to perform daily survival tasks. As far as I am concerned, this set is not just eating equipment, it is a daily survival tool that supports food preparation, health, and efficiency. For these reasons, I believe the fork, spoon, and knife set is a practical and logical choice while we wait for rescue.
I'm in total agreement with your point. I would like to begin by sharing my opinion regarding one of the items we should choose for our survival on the island. From my point of view, selecting a large blanket is extremely important and practical in this situation. Firstly, the blanket can help us keep warm during the night, especially if the weather turns cold or if it rains unexpectedly. Maintaining body warmth is crucial because it helps prevent illnesses such as hypothermia and reduces fatigue, allowing us to stay physically and mentally strong. When we are well rested and healthy, we can make better decisions and work together more effectively as a team. Secondly, the blanket can serve as a temporary shelter. For example, we can tie it between trees to create shade or use it as a cover to protect ourselves from strong sunlight during the day. This will help us avoid dehydration and sunburn, which are serious risks on a tropical island. In addition to that, the blanket can also be used as a signaling tool for rescue. We can spread it out on the beach or wave it in the air to attract the attention of passing boats or aircraft. This increases our visibility and improves our chances of being rescued sooner. Overall, as far as I'm concerned, the large blanket is a very versatile item with multiple uses. It supports our survival in terms of warmth, shelter, and rescue signaling, and therefore, I strongly believe it should be one of our top priorities to bring along.
I agree with your point. However, I am more convinced by the importance of including a box of matches in our list of survival items. Turning to my point, I would like to emphasize that a box of matches is an even more essential item for our survival on the island. In my opinion, matches are critical because they allow us to make fire, which is one of the most fundamental elements of survival. Fire enables us to cook food properly and boil water, both of which are necessary to reduce the risk of illness and food poisoning. Even If we are able to obtain food and fresh water, consuming them without proper cooking could expose us to dangerous bacteria. In addition to water safety, fire also provide warmth and light, especially at night when temperature may drop or when it becomes difficult to see our surrounding. Having a fire can reduce fear and improve morale, which is extremely important in a survival situation. Moreover, fire can be used to dry wet clothes and keep our living area comfortable. Fire also offers protection from wild animals and insects, making our sleeping areas safer. Many animals and insects are naturally afraid of fire, so maintaining a controlled fire can help keep potential threats away from our shelter. Furthermore, a box of matches is also extremely useful for signaling rescue. By creating smoke during the day or visible flames at night, we can attract the attention of passing boats. This significantly increases our chances of being rescued, which is our ultimate goal. In a nutshell, these are the 5 survival items that we will take with us on the island to improve our chance of survival. Thank you.